The Narcissist Performance of 1, Part 2. Control is fundamental to the narcissist as the chief prime aim. Alongside fuel, it is hugely important to the narcissist, but most narcissists are unaware of this. The assertion of control and the nullification of threats to control must always be obtained when a person comes upon that radar. The narcissist is ruled by this need and utilizes emotions for the purposes of control and manipulation. The narcissist feels a threat to control and therefore ensures that others suffer to ensure that fuel is provided and those individuals are placed in an unpleasant situation so that those individuals that are viewed as having caused it eventually do something to provide the narcissist with what he or she wants. This may result in the narcissist arguing with people, fighting, assaulting, begging, or ignoring others for some time. And it is done in order to destroy that individual's peace by performing in such a way to enable the narcissist to get what they are after. We are envious of your contentment. Your contentment threatens our sense of control, and thus causes the narcissist to need to shatter your peace. Nobody else is allowed to be happy. Nobody else is allowed to be at peace. Why should you be happy? Why should you be at peace? Why should you be content? The narcissist is not, and thus that must mean that you are a cruel individual. When you tell a narcissist no, that you deny something that we require, you are telling us that we do not matter, that we are not important, that we are not good enough. And that threatens the narcissist's sense of control. It doesn't matter that when you say no, you do not intend for it to convey to us that we are unimportant or that we are not mattering enough. Your intention is irrelevant. It is how it is perceived by us, which then results in the narcissist having to put on this performance. If you cannot afford what the narcissist requires, that is not computed by the narcissist. It will be viewed as an excuse. If you actually prove that you can't afford something that the narcissist requires, then it will be branded as a lie and is part of your cruelty and nastiness towards the narcissist, resulting in the narcissist perhaps putting on a display of self-pity, a performance of abject misery, in order to guilt you into giving the narcissist what they want. You cannot provide it even if you wanted to. But the fact is, this is interpreted by the narcissist as you deliberately withholding things from the narcissist in order to accentuate the misery of the narcissist. This makes you a heartless traitor. A performance ensues, and it is one that you become sucked into. As I have explained in part 1, the purpose of the performance is actually for ourselves, but you buy into it. You have to, because the audience is required. There is this strange relationship whereby, as I explained in part 1, when there is no audience, there is no performance, but when there is, a performance must ensue, and you must buy into that performance. Invariably you do, because you try to explain to the narcissist why you have behaved in the way that you have done. But you're talking to somebody who does not see the world in the way that you do. You see the demands, the explanations that the narcissist provides as illogical and irrational. You feel that you're wasting your time trying to reason with them. And indeed, you are. You are trying to reason a child out of a tantrum, and it fails. You're not able to speak to the narcissist in a way that the narcissist will understand, because the narcissist is locked into a performance where you cannot say, but hang on, your performance is unnecessary, or this is the wrong performance. You must allow the performance to take place embrace the performance, and then stand and heartily cheer it and applaud it by doing what the narcissist wants. Any slight against the narcissist is perceived as a scathing indictment of their character and who they are as a person. When this occurs, this triggers a threat to control. And thus you are seen as somebody who does not love the narcissist, that you think that they are an awful human being. You may not view them in such terms at all, but that is irrelevant. It is how it is perceived. Because you must be those things because you have slighted the narcissist. If you would do what the narcissist wanted, then you would be a good person. But you're not. The narcissist wants that control and that fuel and those character traits and residual benefits, although most narcissists do not actually realize that. The narcissist must wield power through performance, authority through performance, and you must not challenge this. Because if you do so, you're suggesting that the narcissist does not have that power or control or authority. The narcissist understands, as a consequence of the way that the narcissist has been created, that somebody with no power really does not matter. And that is the ultimate threat to control of the narcissist. In effect, a form of death by insignificance. Thus, this is why you will see a narcissist that who is wealthy, that is popular, that is ravishingly good looking, that they live in a huge house with a number of cars, that they're known around the globe, and then they will have a meltdown and fall apart over one seemingly insignificant matter, the one thing that they were not able to assert control over, and thus they are made to feel lost, and the performance ensues in order to try and get it back. By having control, the narcissist is no longer weak or insignificant. People who have control are important. They matter. They are admired. They are feared. The performance that gains control inspires admiration or instills fear. The narcissist is unable to regulate a sense of self-worth, and instead must rely upon the performance to fulfill the needs of the prime aims. Others must be dominated and controlled by this performance so that it ensures that the narcissist's needs and aims are fulfilled, and are fulfilled without interruption. If you operate to your own agenda, you are threatening a sense of control, and you must be brought back within that control through that performance. If you do your own things, you are not attending to the needs of the narcissist. Even though you are not obligated in your world to attend to the needs of the narcissist, that does not matter. And thus the narcissist puts on a performance to ensure that you become preoccupied with our needs, running around and appeasing us, mollycoddling the narcissist, getting what you think the narcissist needs, saying the things that you believe the narcissist requires. The performance that the narcissist puts on, whether it is furious, whether it is a tantrum, whether it is tears, whether it is moaning, whether it is collapsing and sobbing to the floor. It is a performance that is generated by the narcissism to ensure that you seat the narcissist at the top of the tree. An absence of control means that the narcissist is weak, that the narcissist's survival is threatened. And thus, that performance must come forth. The narcissist has come from a place where they perceived, as a very young child, that they had no true control over themselves or the environment that they were in. The perception was, and often an accurate one, is that the ones with all the other power was that first original abuser that asserted power and control over the narcissist, and therefore becoming hypersensitive to that threat to control. The narcissist's performance thereafter is all about nullifying that threat to control and asserting control over the other person or people. Those that have no power are weak. Those that have no power are useless. The narcissist once felt out of control, lacking control, and powerless. And the narcissism's job is to ensure that through performance, this control is obtained each and every time. And often, the narcissist is unable to feel in control and empowered in their own life unless they're degrading, devaluing, berating, crushing somebody else. Others are seen as holding the power through that threat to control, and therefore the narcissist must endeavour to overcome that individual, to vanquish them. And they turn on that performance, whatever it might be, assaulting somebody, shouting at them, belittling them, invalidating them, in order to ensure that they do not feel powerless. That performance has one goal and one goal only: to get to the prime aims for the purposes of the narcissist. You are the audience, but you are not there to serve any other purpose than to ensure that this performance of one gets what one requires: control, fuel, character traits, and residual benefits. I'm H.D. Tudor. Thank you for listening.